Welcome back to No Buzzwords. Shameless plug right off the bat. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify. We now have a Facebook page. Please like, subscribe, share this with all your friends. We're a podcast for Kitsap County and everything about Kitsap. We love Kitsap. And today in studio, we are so excited to have Mr. Eric Mahler from Cafe Cocina, Poulsbo, Washington. Thanks for being here, Eric.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
Bringing the coffee.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely great to be here.
We're drinking coffee that was hand ground by Eric himself this morning. He brought it in for us. Normally we try to bless our guests with coffee, but he switched it up on us.
I would have been happy with Folgers. I would have been happy with anything.
Dude, on a good hiking trip, Folgers is low key pretty good.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. So, all right off the bat, I kind of mentioned it a little bit right before we started, but I'd love to hear this progression. I feel like was it on LinkedIn or somewhere? I saw your resume, and it was like this progression through banking. And did I see investment banker at one point? And then all of a sudden, it just fell off the edge, and then it says something like coffee roaster. Yeah. Like, all right. Yeah. So what's the story there? How'd you get into this?
Man. So, I mean, we can take the timeline back to the origin there. And my dad was in the military, right? My whole family, all the men in my family were in the military, right? So my whole life I was thinking I'm gonna be a military guy. And that's kind of how my dad raised me, you know. It wasn't like my being grounded was push-ups. Right on. You know, nice. Push-ups and sit-ups and physical exertion, like, wow. And that was the whole thing, and I kind of dug it, you know, because you wake up in the morning and you see your dad and he's Superman, right? Mm. And he's going off and he's doing stuff, and you can't go to the grocery store without somebody saying, "Hey Ken, how you doing?" or "Hey Doc, how you doing?" Right? So my dad has a crazy military background.
His name's Ken.
Ken.
All right.
Yeah. And the upbringing was very like structured, you know. It was, we go to bed at this time, we wake up, we have dinner at this time, you know. We're going to go for a run on our lunch, you know. So it was very disciplined. So I grew up in a very structured household. And my mother was a banker also. And in high school, my dad was like, "Okay, it's time to start, thinking about, which branch you're going to go to. You got to start applying for things. You're going to start doing this. You're going to start doing that." And I have asthma. I've had asthma since I was 2. My dad has sports induced asthma, and it was like no problem back in his day, right?
Sure.
And they said no. They were like, "You've got asthma. You've got a crazy history of asthma, right?" And so being raised in like this military structured thing, all of my medical records are with the Navy.
Wow. So they knew.
Yeah. There was no
door.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So they're like, "You have asthma." And my dad was like, "No, no, my baby boy." Oh. And I'm like, long jawed, and I'm just like, "Can I still stay here? Does it end here? Oh. Can I still come to Thanksgiving?
Can I still be your son?"
And my mom, without skipping a beat, was like, "You're going into baking. Yeah, that's just what you're gonna do." And I was like, "Okay." And my dad was like, "Oh, you're gonna go get a job. You're gonna go to this. You're gonna go to that." My first job was at Safeway. I was a courtesy clerk, and I was about 15, 16 when all this was
that here in Kitsap?
I was here in Kitsap, yeah. I worked at the Silverdale Safeway as a courtesy clerk.
Sweet. Nice.
Yeah, bagging groceries and doing the thing. Facing cans. I was a mean can facer. Oh, yeah. My aisles were tight.
That's awesome.
You gotta do it. Dude. Gotta do it. No, I loved bagging groceries, man. That was great. So I went from Safeway to Men's Warehouse. I learned to dress myself, because we're going into a professional background. And my old football coach worked there, and I kind of learned to speak there a little bit. It's where it kind of started to peel the layer of like, okay, I have to transition my mindset away from whatever this military thing is going to be. And I got to figure something else out because that's where my heart was.
It was a process getting over that.
Yeah. It was a relatively big shift, but I was still this super active guy. I was still skateboarding and playing guitar and running around and, doing stuff. And then, banking just kind of slid in. Mom was like, hey, there's an opening. It's going to be terrible. Do it. I was like, okay. So Safeway, Men's Warehouse. I worked at a watch stand for a little bit. That was fun.
Like in the mall?
Yeah. It was like repair watches and stuff like that. So
on one of those little islands?
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. It was Watchmasters.
I always pity those guys. I walk by and I'm like,
it was awful.
That was before the smartphone, so you must have been bored out of your mind.
It was bad. Yeah, it was bad. It was not an exciting job.
You're just like, wow, what time is it? Oh, wait.
I think the only reason I stayed for any period of time is it was right in front of Forever 21.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is fine. I do this. All right. You want a Mickey Mouse watch?
Right.
Like, there was a section of Mickey Mouse watches. We have all these like really nice watches, like really like kind of high end stuff. And then there's Mickey Mouse section over here.
Beautiful. And, dude, Disney watches have a niche crowd.
They do. Yeah. They actually really do. I was actually shocked at how many we actually sold. And it was the same customer.
Yeah.
Sweet old lady.
I broke my Disney watch.
My grandkids will love this. I'm like, no, they won't. Like, all right, $55.79.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but it was an experience. It was fun. It was what it was.
Yeah.
And then banking happened. My first experience in banking, I was a float teller. And I was with Washington Mutual. My mom was with Washington Mutual.
Sweet.
And, I was, here you go. I was like, all right.
An opportunity.
Yeah, here's an opportunity. Run with it. And I was like, all right, whatever. Just kind of going through the motions. And again, I'm still kind of like changing my mindset, into.
Am I a banker?
Yeah. It's kind of hard to, it's hard to change anything, right? But then when your dad is this massive like person. And I mean, like, I say that with so much regard for everybody that does that job, right? But my dad was a command master chief.
What branch?
In the Navy.
The Navy. Okay.
Yeah, so he's command master chief. And so there's master chief and there's command master chief. Command master chiefs are like in charge of something, right? So he was the command master chief of the Bremerton Naval Hospital.
Wow.
Right? He was told no with every stop, every opportunity, everything. He was told no. Like from the day he joined the Navy, no, you're not smart enough. You're not big enough. You're not tall enough. You're not fast enough. And I kind of have that same structure of like, no.
Yeah. I want you to say no to me.
Bet.
See what I do.
Bet. Yeah. So, I mean, that was that same kind of tenacity and vigor. I guess I still have that a little bit.
Yeah.
And banking was insane. Washington Mutual was insane.
Now that's the one. This is the one next to Old Central Market, is right? Or
yeah. So that was originally a Washington Mutual.
Now it's Chase. Yeah, that's where we banked growing up. I remember. I think her name was Simone.
Simone and I go way back.
Yeah. I just remember like. I always remember going in there in high school. It was like the first place where I had my banking account.
Yeah.
And I always remember Simone being there.
Yeah. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Operations mindset. Oh, man. Nothing gets by her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Numbers. She's like, that's off. That's weird.
Sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, I was a teller.
Cool.
And started out high school, just plugging away, doing transactions. And I was offered a full-time position of just being a float teller. And that's where I go around to all these different branches. Ooh, boy, I fell in love with it.
I see. Okay.
We were we weren't superheroes by any means, but we were definitely a bailout package of like somebody's sick or I'm down staff members or there's a medical emergency or I've got somebody that's going on paternity leave. So I would work from Port Angeles all the way down to Olympia to West Seattle.
Wow. And
so I was exposed to a world of banking that I don't think a lot of people get exposed to. That's not a typical position that you have in the financial field, where you go around to all these different places and you just mesh with a staff. Because everybody kind of does things a little bit differently. There's a lot of different personalities. So I think that was pretty key in learning how to speak with different people or deal with different personalities. Because again, I'm a kid. I am 16, 17 years old.
Wow.
Whoa.
You know?
That's wild.
Yeah. And so I'm like, whoa, okay. And then when the full-time position comes along, right? It was hurry up and wait. And as soon as there's a spot open, apply for it. Well, I had applied to everything that was open, and everything was far away. And then finally a spot came open that was like full-time, this is cool. And it was the 6th Avenue Tacoma branch. And I was living in Poulsbo.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
I was driving a 1994 Dodge Ram.
Glorious.
And it got about 3.5 miles to the gallon. I was around 12. But yeah, and I'm like, my paycheck is going into this gas tank, right? During my float time where I was going around to different branches, I worked at a branch that was in Gig Harbor. And I met a man by the name of John Grossens. And this dude was a massive personality. And he was an investment broker. And I was like, what does he do? Because everybody that was coming in there was like, who's that guy? Who's that guy? Who's that guy? You know, and he's just this larger than life guy. Well, the assistant manager at that branch was Keith Page. Wound up becoming a great friend of mine. And these guys kind of mentored me a little bit. And I saw the way that they were engaging with people. I saw the way that they were speaking with people. And I saw like their presence. And I was like, I can do that. I can do that.
That's awesome.
This is fine. And it was a Friday. Line was out the door. Systems were down. And it is me and 5 other tellers. And because again, I'm still here at this point. And I'm just Mr. Positive. And I'm talking to everybody in line. Hey man, I'll be right with you.
Yeah.
Hey, I see you. Yeah. And I'm just doing manual stuff, right? And just going through the motions, staying positive. And John walks over, like after everything's said and done. He was like, you Sharon's kid? And I was like, yeah. He was like, come here. You know, a 30-minute conversation, and I was like forever changed.
Really?
Like forever. Like I'll never forget this conversation. And Keith comes up behind me, like in the middle of this conversation, puts his hand on my shoulder, and he goes, we'll take care of you.
Wow.
Sweet.
And next thing I know, I'm at this ridiculous branch in Tacoma that has bullet holes in it from past bank robberies. And I am just grinding, but I'm committed because I saw a potential future. And I was like, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing. And I just worked my way up and worked my way up and worked my way up. But every time I turned around, are you Sharon's kid? That was my mom. And I was like, yeah.
Oh, that started to get old.
It got a little old. And I was like, how do I get out from that? How do I make
Sharon my mom?
Because it kind of
Eric's mom?
Yeah. Yeah. Because it kind of became like almost this like, oh, you're here because you're your mom thing.
Right.
And I was like, I promise I'm not, kind of.
I don't know her. I've never known her.
Yeah. I never once was like, are you sure? No. No, but my mom was like, kind of this like, everybody knew her, no matter where I was. You're Sharon's kid. You know, so my mom had this like really cool reputation in the company. And Washington Mutual was such a special place. I mean, I'm a part of groups now. Washington Mutual's been gone since 2008, right? And there's still people that talk about like how amazing that company was, the culture, and what it was to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
My banking, just even now, I mean, like I go to a bank that you have to find branches that have tellers.
Right.
And my experience at Washington Mutual is still ingrained in my mind as that's the standard for what I'm looking for in a good banking experience.
Oh, baby, it's gone. Oh, it's gone. Oh, it hurts so much. It is gone. Oh. 2008 happened, man. That was wild. I will never forget that. I was in the middle of that entire meltdown.
Really?
Yeah. I was a gym junkie too. I was always in the gym. I would get up, go to work, commute to Tacoma, take my pre-workout as I was leaving the office.
Oh, wow.
And I would go to PSNS and I'd work out. And I'd go home and sleep, and I'd wake up and do it all again. Yeah, and I was just in a grind mode. Yeah, going to school.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. Yeah. And then, 2008 happened, man. That was absolutely, man. Again, it's something I'll never forget. It was so impacting because, again, I'm so young, and I'm being exposed to a financial industry collapse.
How old were you? So you were like 21?
I was 20.
20?
Yeah. It was crazy. And I remember, so Kerry Killinger was our CEO, and this guy was like bigger than life, right? It was like not a Jeff Bezos now, but I mean, he was a big, important guy. Everybody knew him, and because he engaged with people. He engaged with everyone. It was not uncommon for you to go to, something, and he's there, and he's milling around, shaking hands and talking to people.
Seeing the big boss.
Yeah. And when it was announced that he was being removed from the board, everybody was like, what? What's happening? Because all these rumors start going around, and this is, I mean, there's so many different parts of the financial industry that kind of relies on each other. Everyone's investing in this because of that. Everyone's investing in that because of this. And we're going to do this because of this over here. It's never like, it's summertime, I should sell my oil. It's not how it works anymore. It's too convoluted, and it's too intelligent.
You have to be in it to know why it's working, how it's working.
Yeah. Oh man, I get it all the time now. Oh, can you teach me how to day trade?
Oh wow.
No. No. Oh gosh, save yourself.
Drink this coffee.
Yeah. Take $100 a month and put it away and don't think about it. Do that. Right. And it's like, oh man, and I have completely removed myself from all of it.
Banking.
I can't think about it. I was a different person. I was a completely different person. I had a faux hawk.
Nice. In the banking world?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I would have made a beeline for you.
Yeah.
Take my money.
Yeah. That stopped aggressively as soon as 2008 happened, because that's, I'm still progressing through my banking career. 2009 was there. 2010 happened. There's no recovery. Bankers are bad. They're the bad guys now. We're looked at like the credit card industry. Like, oh, they're evil. 30% interest rates. What? It never recovered. So the days of I'm going to go into the bank and cash my paycheck vanished hard. I remember running on the treadmill, and the administration is changing from George W. Bush to Barack Obama. And George is saying, we're going to give out stimulus checks, $500 stimulus checks, $1,000 stimulus checks. And I'm like, what? That's everyone's getting money? Wow. All right. And wow. Yeah, so it never recovered. So those times where you're walking in and you're seeing these lines out the door on Fridays and everybody's cashing their checks, everyone's getting this, it's gone. Vanished. See you bye.
You're like bringing back memories that like I forgot I had, but I remember that now. It's like, whoa, it is gone.
Yeah. When the announcement was made. So we got an interim CEO, Alan Fishman. What a butt.
Alan, if you're listening.
You're a butt. First letter, company-wide letter out to the entire company. Whole thing, right? We're not going to sell.
Oh.
A month later.
Oh, nice.
Chase.
Washington Mutual sells to JP Morgan Chase for $1.8 billion.
Which is chump change today. Dude.
Got me, dude. I'm standing there and I'm like reading this and I'm like, oh God. Do we have jobs? What's happening? Because Chase bought the retail side. They didn't buy the horrific rat's nest of mortgages. that had been bundled and traded and bundled and traded and bundled and traded and bundled and traded that allowed this this industry to collapse, this ballooning of mortgages and insurances, and we're making deals that are part of this and part of that, and we're coming up with different rating systems, but we're gonna take 400 really great mortgages and stack them with 200 really risky ones, you know, and then bundle them and sell them in a package deal for something else, right back to the convoluted, you know, tunnel of the stock market. Again, you got to be in this thing to know it, because it's progressing at such an alarming rate, because we have technology that it's emerging and we are in the know before it happens. So I'm standing there and I'm reading this email of, we just sold, and it's 4:23 on a Thursday.
Wow, you got quite the memory.
Dude, it was nuts because everything just fell silent. And Justin Payton, my manager at the time, he goes, "Oh shit. This is a huge branch, right?" I mean, I'm talking a teller line that looks like it was probably Tacoma built in the 60s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's 15 teller windows in a big vault. And I mean, it is a really cool building, right? And Justin is across the probably from here to the road, right? And he goes, "Oh shit."
Oh man.
And it is, you could hear a little mouse run across the floor. It was so quiet. It was, and all of us, our hearts just fell because it meant more than just a company. Yeah, we were concerned. Yeah, it was so much.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I grew up.
Oh, wow.
I think it was that day. You know, it's kind of like, you know, you hear about JFK and a lot of people will be like, that's the day that America lost its innocence. That was the day I lost mine. I was like, nothing is sacred anymore. It's the only thing that really meant anything. You know, because again, you're taking this kid with this mindset that's going to go in the military and he's going to have this career, and oh man, he might be a SEAL. You know, he might do this crazy thing. He might do all these things, right? Might make dad proud. You know, might make mom proud. Might make grandpa proud. You know, and then you're shifting and you're transitioning and you're like, cool, I got a direction. This is good. And then, cloud of smoke.
Like your identity just gets
Wow.
But you believe in it, right? You believe in what you're doing, and
you identified with this institution. It was like you were a part of it, and it was a part of you.
Yeah, we had merch. We weren't giving away toasters, man. We had spatulas.
Dude, Washington Mutual spatulas.
Dude, anybody listening who has one of those spatulas, we will have you on as a guest. Bring it. Spank the competition.
My mother would have used that to spank.
We need to get James a mic
for
here.
sure.
We had cool marketing. We went from Washington Mutual to WAMU. We were edgy.
Oh yeah.
We were colorful. It was awesome, right? So then I'm like, well, I have this knowledge. I've gained so much in the industry. I've made these connections. I like what I do. I found out that I was pretty good with numbers. So I fought through. I transferred to the Silverdale branch, and I was like, this is it. This is my run. I'm going to work where I live. I'm going to go through, and at this point I've got all this headway with, you know, looking into doing stocks and bonds and getting my Series 7, my 6, my 63, and my 42 and going through the whole thing, right? And it never recovered. Not once. Not an inkling of recovering. And then Chase comes to town. Oof, I can get into that, but whatever. Yeah. And then now we have the origin of Cafe Cocina, because my mom calls me one afternoon and she's like, I'm going to buy a cafe. And I was like, don't do that.
Wow.
What are you doing? Because she's getting ready to retire, right? You know, she's got this amazing financial career. And, whew.
So it was your mom that brought you then?
Yeah, that knucklehead. What was she thinking?
So it's your Sharon's kid going.
Yeah. I'm like, here we go again. Well, so going through small business lending classes and going through small business administration classes and, you know, working with so many small businesses, you're exposed again. Oh man, I got an ear candle story. I don't know if we have time. Anyway, so I'm working with all these small businesses, and I'm seeing people, and I'm understanding that there's God, I was exposed to so much. And mom calls me one day, and I've got a little weight under my belt now, right? I know some things.
Right.
I'm 23, right? And my mom calls me, and she's like, "I got a crazy idea. I'm going to buy this little cafe." And I was like, "Don't do that." Why would you do that? Because she's talking about retirement.
What year was this?
This was 2013.
Okay.
Yeah. No, 2011. Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, please don't do that. That's a ridiculous thing. You're talking about retiring. Why are you going to buy a job? Mm-hmm. Calls me again a couple weeks later. She's like, honey, I'm really serious. I think I want to buy that cafe. I was like, don't do that. Please don't do that. That is a ridiculous thing to do. Again, we're talking about you retiring. No.
Yeah.
And again, she just lost $90,000.
Oh.
In stocks.
Oh wow.
For her retirement and stock valuations and all kinds of stuff. So she's in this also pivotal moment. Of like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta figure some stuff out. So she was like, come look at it with me. And so I walk in and I take a look around and I'm like, ooh man, this is there's so much that's going into this.
Was this the
so
Fin?
Much. Yeah, this is Fin Hill.
The Fin Hill. Okay.
This is Fin Hill, and it's a business. It's doing its thing. It's got a hair salon in it.
Oh,
I think I remember that.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Was it called Cafe Cocina then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cafe Cocina.
Yeah, for all those listening.
Yeah, it's Cafe Cocina.
Cocina.
And Ciao Bella. Ciao Bella was the hair salon.
Yeah.
And that's who we wound up buying the cafe from.
Okay.
Yeah.
From the salon.
Yeah. And it was whatever. There was, ooh, man.
So it was mainly the salon and the cafe was sort of an afterthought.
Other way around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was a cafe, and then they put the hair salon in. And I walked in and I was like, no. Don't do it. Please don't do it. And simultaneously, I'm still not seeing recovery in the banking industry. I'm still like hurt feelings. I'm not getting along with Chase. I go over to U.S. Bank because everybody that was part of Washington Mutual was going over to U.S. Bank because they're like, this is the last surviving institution that has a little bit of, character. Yeah, a little bit of a personality, And oh man, the banking systems. Garbage. Like old school, old school. So there's a program called Host and it was on that level where like you're putting in codes and entering codes to work your way around their account services stuff. And it was grueling. But the sales model was similar. It didn't have the pizzazz, didn't have the colors, didn't have the marketability, didn't have the money. But that's okay. It was, you could go to work and feel like you were talking like a robot,
a shadow of what it was.
Yeah. And so, mom asked me to do it with her. She's like, do this with me. And I was like, no, absolutely not. I love my mother. I listened to her. I said, fine, let's give it a run. And so the idea at this point, when we bought, everything went into play June 1st, 2012. The idea was let's do it for 2 years, flip it, get it on board, create some systems, get some organization in here, get the P&L statements correct. Let's and let's flip it and sell it. I did a business valuation on everything. We discovered very quickly that the $2,000 asking price was not even remotely close to that. So we offered half.
You say $2,000?
$200,000.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
where do you find these businesses?
$200,000. So we wound up buying that cafe for that cafe for $80,000.
Did they now with that $200,000? Was that off of like an EBITDA or was that like net profit that they were evaluating $200,000 for that cafe?
Just a shot in the dark.
Right on. No pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah.
This show is called No Buzzwords,
right.
Please. No.
So that was where, the financials kind of came in and I was like, You're silly.
Wow.
You can't. This isn't. Come on. You don't think really?
How about 80?
Yeah. And they reluctantly took it. That was kind of. It was a rough pass off. I wish it went better. I'm 24 at the time, and I'm getting out of the banking. And I was like, let's go. Let's do this. This is fine.
Yeah.
Let's give it a run. I'm going to take all my financial knowledge. I'm going to apply it to this. We're going to flip it. We're going to get a decent profit off this. And
You found a new heading.
oh man, did I ever. I was getting out of bed when I wanted to.
Ah.
I was going to work in jeans. I was like, what is this?
This is
I make the rules?
This is 2011.
2012.
2012. Okay.
Yeah. Conversation started in 2011.
Okay.
And then, June 1st, 2012. I inherited a staff. They hated me. Oh, they hated me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because is it your age or personality?
Yeah, it's probably my personality.
That is
Sweet.
a
Did you
great
still
thing
think
that
you
you
have
can
a faux
admit.
hawk?
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody blame their own personality. Why was that? This is my personality.
Yeah. Yeah.
God bless you, Eric.
I went from
am an
God bless you.
a-hole sometimes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that you can say that. That is so cool.
Well, we're different people from decade to decade, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if I still acted like I did today when I was 24, woo, I wouldn't have a company. But yeah, I mean, I was going from this hot-headed banker guy that was doing crazy money and used to talking to like really successcul people. I'm in Seattle one day. I'm in
You're
Olympia the
fast-paced and
next,
aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing coffee.
I also have an opinion that most dudes are not fully cooked until 25.
For
At
sure.
the earliest.
Oh, Betty, at the earliest. Yeah.
Dude, I'm
Yeah.
still not fully cooked.
No,
Well, medium rare.
I'll probably mature right around 40. Is my guess.
Okay.
No, I completely agree. Yeah, there was a light switch for me at 28. I was like, I gotta like stop being dumb.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You get a little bit of success under your belt or something like that, or you find a path and then it aggressively changes like that. You're like, ooh, I gotta rein this in a little bit. You know, self-awareness. Yeah,
Doesn't come for dudes.
No.
For a while.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah. Because everyone's like, oh, when you turn 30, I'm like, when you turn 30.
Yeah. So true.
It wasn't
So
30 for me.
true.
It was about 35.
Yeah.
Where I was like, what's that?
Happening to me.
Yeah. I look down and, hey, we're yellow, buddy.
Yeah, we got the pastries added to the.
Yeah. Like this coffee industry is aggressive.
That's awesome.
No, it was a thing. So again, I'm fighting going from finding a headway, changing a headway because an industry imploded. It didn't really implode. There's still a way to do it. It just wasn't the path that I thought it would be.
Yeah. It was very different than what you got
Very,
into.
very, very different. So, now we're doing coffee. It didn't bode well with my personality. And so I had to create that. I had to go and figure out how I was going to make this settle with me and how I'd feel good about what I was doing. And I went to work and I tried to kind of recreate the vibe that I got when I showed up to work when I was working at Washington Mutual.
Interesting.
And I did this subconsciously.
Wild.
I had no idea I was doing it because I was hearing baristas complain about me. No, oh, this doesn't make sense. I can't do this. And I'm like, okay, line times, speed, recipes are different. And this is all just, logics. We're looking at people performing a job. And I had not gotten into coffee at this point. I drank Starbucks. I was a 20-ounce triple pump white chocolate mocha. It was a scary time.
Diabetes was on the horizon.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah, and coming fast.
A monster BFG for lunch.
It was just a different guy, different mentality, And but again, my mind was focused on systems and operations. And when you take an inherited staff that is kind of doing a little bit of whatever they want, and you say, I'm going to need you to start paying attention to till operations. I'm going to need you to start paying attention to your recipes. I'm going to need you to wear some clothes.
We sell without them.
Yeah.
Right. Look at Ladybug.
Yeah.
It's working for them.
I'm gonna need you, yeah, right? Yeah. I'm going to need you to tone down the personality a little bit. I'm going to need you to come in down to my basement office so we can have a conversation about your attitude, you know? Right. Oh, gosh. There were so many learning
From a 24-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think my oldest inherited staff person at that time was 32, 33.
It's tough.
Wasn't good.
That's tough.
So we started moving through staff a little bit. And, you know, I got my first, like, I hired people. Like, everyone here I hired, right? And then we started gaining some traction. 2 years later, we kind of turned some things around. We got some operations involved. My wonderful wife that I had met the same year.
The same year that you bought Cafe Cocina?
Yeah.
How cool.
Like a month and a half after.
Wow.
She has a Starbucks tattoo.
That's funny.
It's in a good place, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great place.
Funny.
It's a great place. I never see it. It doesn't haunt me every day.
That's hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Shout
out to Tiffany.
What's the movie? Oh, I think was it Wild Hogs where he gets the apple tattoo and they're like, isn't that trademarked?
Yeah.
And he's like, what are they going to do? It's on my skin.
Yeah. It was that Martin Short's character.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're, 2012 doing stuff. And so Tiff and I start breaking down walls. We start rebuilding bars. We start paying attention to the staff and kind of start listening and figuring stuff. I still to that day had not made coffee.
So you're strictly running the business side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which there's, arguably, I think there's a place for that in some businesses.
Sure.
People that know how to run a business, just because you're a great plumber doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be a good person running a plumbing business.
100%.
So, So how did you end up transitioning into then making coffee? Because whenever we're there, like they're like, yeah, he's back roasting right now.
Yeah. But anytime they're short or anything like that, I will run that bar. Because my business ethics are, I can't tell you what to do effectively and efficiently if I can't do it myself. And so I hold myself to that standard. Is I can fill in for anybody at any time, no matter what.
Wow.
And I do less, but I do. When I started discovering the world of coffee that I know today, I had met a gentleman by the name of Jeff Babcock. And he became my coffee mentor. But I started learning things about coffee. And I was like, what we are doing is not this.
Oh, interesting.
Right? We were dropping shots on top of milk and doing all kinds of weird stuff, right? I just
drink the stuff.
And I won't go super nuts on that. But I started to learn things. And Jeff at this time had owned a huge roasting operation with 3 cafes in the Seattle metropolitan area.
Wow.
And so I'm looking at a metropolitan craft coffee company and I'm going, we can do this, but I still hadn't made coffee yet. So how am I going to get a staff to take my direction if I can't do it? So I started bringing things back slowly and building out kind of a coffee outline. So when we hired people, we had some kind of a training outline.
Nice.
I didn't just hand it to my longest barista or my most experienced barista and say, can you train this person for me? It needed to come from me or else there would be no following. There's no way that we could create the direction that I saw we needed to go. And in approaching the coffee industry, how I wound up approaching it, I started learning that there is a massive disconnect between roasters and cafes. And I said, I can smash all this together and we can do a better job at educating and getting information to baristas because we have the largest commodity industry on the planet, right? Huge. Coffee is huge. but how much great coffee do we have around?
Yeah, I mean, coming to Washington, you expect it to be great.
Mm-hmm. And so coming to Washington, you go get a cup of coffee. 9 times out of 10, you go, oh, wow, this is good coffee. No, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir.
I had somebody from my work. I actually brought them to your cafe. I had somebody from my work from Illinois come out to Seattle. They're like, "Oh, we got to go to a Starbucks in Seattle." I'm like, "No, we're going here."
Please don't.
Yeah, and there's your industry shift. Yeah, because Starbucks is not what it used to be.
Oh yeah.
Starbucks was awesome in the 90s.
Yeah.
The industry's grown. So and I can rabbit hole coffee for you guys if you want to. You want to rabbit hole that, we can go.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It really, really, really is. But the advancements that have been made in the last even 13 years that I've been in business have been huge. I mean, the explosion of Apple, right? That was the explosion of Microsoft, the explosion of tech, the .com, right? Everything making its way, and the coffee industry is right behind it. Without the technology, without the knowledge, without the access, without the infrastructure. So the industry is advancing, but the people making the coffee are not. And that was like, ooh, we got to do something about this. So I didn't want to do it in a scale of Starbucks or Tolly's or Seattle's Best or Dunkin' Donuts or these massive companies. I never wanted to do that. I wanted to create craft, and I wanted to be craft because I saw these amazing cafes that were crushing it. And I was like, why is this place so packed? And I figured out one tiny little detail. And it was the same detail. Unknowingly, it was the same detail that Washington Mutual had figured out. Focus on what you do and nothing else. Do that one thing so well that nothing else matters. And then elevate everything else around it. So we focused on the coffee. And so in developing my skills as a barista, in making coffee, in diving into different espresso machines and extractions and grinders and getting into the science and lab work, I discovered I have no control because I don't roast this coffee.
Oh, wow.
So then I went over and
That's
asked
a key
Jeff.
ingredient. The roasting process.
That's such a profound statement. I think it's so simple but so true. I have so many things that I love that, those things or those brands or I mean, you even see it in like Hollywood today where it's like, oh, that worked. Let's expand. Let's try something else. Let's keep growing and doing it better and better. But then you lose what you loved in the first place. And dude, that's awesome.
Thanks. It's such a simple thing when you after it explodes, it's such a simple thing, right? Washington Mutual, it exploded, and then we go, we shouldn't have had lending practices that aggressive. We might have could have done a better job at that. But hindsight's 20/20, and humans are fallible.
Now we're dead.
Yeah, and now we talk about it like it's a dead grandpa.
Yeah.
Because in reality, it is. Man, I wish somebody didn't do something that was bad for their health, right? And now that's what we have. So part of this is, again, I want to provide a safe, stable working environment for people, something that they can count on, something that their schedules aren't changing every week. Okay, you have a life, you have goals. What are your goals? You don't have goals? I don't want to work with you. What are your goals? Oh, okay, now you have goals. Okay, good. Let's accomplish them. Let's do something together. Let's provide you with an infrastructure. I don't have a printer at home. Cool. We got one here. I don't have a driver's license. Let's get you a driver's license.
Wow.
Set a goal and work towards it. We've got so many people that have come through the cafe that have met husbands, wives, gone on to college, graduated from college. Now they're weather people and they're,
wow.
We've got so many really, really great stories from that.
Who's the weather person?
Oh, Jordan Wilkerson. She was on King 5 with Steve Poole for a while.
Wow.
Steve Poole was her.
She was one of your baristas.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Dude, we're Steve Poole's the OG, dude.
He's a gangster. I love that guy.
He passed away, didn't he?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
That guy's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's those infectious personalities that are like, I want to know you.
Yeah.
And it's, it's a little bit of what we look for in our baristas.
I spent all like 8 hours at the Finn Hill location yesterday.
Yeah.
I do like office work at the end of the week.
Wow.
And so it's kind of like, sometimes I do it at home. Sometimes I need to get out to a place with Wi-Fi and just, be away from distractions.
Yeah.
And I don't know the names of any of your baristas, but the lady who was working it yesterday, I got there right after you guys opened.
Yeah.
And she was slammed like immediately, but it just didn't seem like she was breaking a sweat at all.
Systems and operations, baby.
Yeah. She was killing it. She has the tattoos. What's her name?
Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny.
Jenny's a gangster.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one. Ooh. Her dad and I built the cafes together.
No
cool.
kidding.
Yeah.
How long she worked for you?
It'll be 7 years.
Wow.
This year. She's a beast.
Yeah.
for a coffee shop to say that you've worked, 7 years in any industry is becoming more and more rare. These days people jump ship so much.
Yeah.
But to say, I love this coffee shop so much. I've worked here for 7 years. That's incredible.
We never stopped moving. We never stopped changing. We never stopped putting our hands on something and saying we're going to do this and do that. Mm-hmm. There's so much on the horizon right now.
She definitely seems like she has a hand in building the culture, and I'm assuming that's what you're allowing all of them.
She's my wholesale coordinator also.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah. So she handles all of our wholesale clients. She talks to them every week.
Jeez.
And
she doesn't just clock out and go home.
No.
Wow.
She never clocks out.
Jenny.
Yeah. Same as me. We never clock out.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing with you think about coffee, and you're like, oh, it's just a coffee shop, and it is till it's not. Until you decide that it is going to be something more. And we decided that in 2018. And in 2019, April 12th.
Oh boy.
We dropped
what timing?
This was probably about 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Oh, man.
We dropped our first roast. And that was a daunting task. My whole heart was in my throat that day.
Wow.
Because I had taken
You started roasting right before the lockdowns.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Oh, man. Thank God. I would not be sitting here today, brother.
Wow.
I would not. I guarantee you the one thing that I can attribute any amount of growth from is that decision right there.
Wow.
It came from a kid that was working for us. His name's Ivan Carrillo.
I believe you.
Ivan, thank you. Ivan, thank you. He called me on my shit one day. So I'm going over to Seattle and I'm educating myself with Jeff's company, Zoka Coffee Roaster and Tea Company. Thanks, Jeff. Love you.
Okay, yeah, I recognize the name.
Yeah. Jeff was one of the original 90s pioneers.
Wow.
That said coffee's more. And
Ask Jeff if he wants to come on.
Jeff lives in North Carolina. I'm sure he would love to. Yeah.
We don't have the budget yet.
Yeah.
Fascinating guy. He built an amazing company, and that, just looking at that, Cafe Cocina today was birthed from the Jeff relationship.
Mm.
Yeah, and I owe a lot to Jeff.
Ivan called you on something.
Yeah, so Ivan calls me, and he's behind the counter, and he's a talented barista, great kid, awesome personality, awesome hair, and he looks at me and he goes, how come you don't roast your own coffee? And I was like, my allegiance is with Zoka and they do such a great job. There's no way that I could ever do such a great job. I gave him such an answer. And then it was like that night, it was like 2 a.m. I was like, why don't I roast my own coffee?
Mm.
It's not that hard. It can't be that hard. Can't be. People build skyscrapers. If you think about the daunting task of building a house.
Yeah, right?
This can't be that hard. And so I was like, there's no way I could do this to the level that Jeff is doing it without Jeff's knowledge.
Huh.
He's already kind of taught me how to make coffee.
And when you say level, you mean the quality at which he's pulling it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're potentially going to talk to him like this good relationship and be like, hey, this is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. He didn't say no. He said, fuck no. I was buying 120 pounds a week from this guy.
Oh yeah.
That's
which
rough.
at that point in time is about $1,200 in wholesale value.
Wow.
So I'm a $5,000 check for him a month.
Yeah.
Teach me what you do. Fuck you. Right?
That's not gonna happen.
So I hit him with a tearjerker. I was like, Jeff, I really respect you, bro. I want to do what you do, man, and I don't want to learn from anybody else. I'm going to do this. I want to do it with you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. He said yes by the end.
Oh wow.
Yeah. As I told him, I said, I know how you feel about coffee. I feel that way also, or at least I think I can try. I know what other people are doing, and I know what you're doing different. And I want to carry on what you've started. I'm not going to be a competitor with you. I'm all the way over here, man.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, but I'm going to lose a very important client. And I was like, but you'll have me as a friend.
Yeah. Wow.
And yeah, so a year later, I started permitting. JR and I, Jenny's dad, started building out this little coffee roastery in our garage.
Wow.
And yeah, a year later,
The garage at the Finn Hill location, right?
Yeah. That was an empty, non-insulated stud wall. We insulated everything, put the drywall up, painted it, sealed it, did all the venting, ducting, floor.
Wow.
Yeah, built a roastery.
You guys were already a bit of an institution in Poulsbo before you started roasting too.
We were getting there.
Yeah. Like you guys were significant in the minds of the culture already.
I was the president of the Poulsbo Chamber of Commerce in 2017.
Oh, geez.
And
wow.
I saw myself in this suit and started to feel a little bankery again.
Bankery. I smell bankery.
I smell bankery. Seedy, underhanded deals in foreign markets. I have an interpreter.
Kind of a big deal.
I saw this guy on this stage saying stuff, but the company wasn't what I needed it to be yet.
You were that guy on the stage saying stuff. Okay, yeah.
I needed those two things to match.
Mm-hmm.
And selling somebody else's coffee wasn't doing it for me anymore.
Mm.
So I needed to figure out a way to do that. But it's a daunting task because I meant what I said when I looked at Jeff in the regard that I did. He was my John.
Your North Star.
John Grossons, right? From WAMU. Mm-hmm. He was my John of the coffee. So it was a person I looked up to.
And that decision helped you ride through COVID.
Yeah.
That's cool. So
hell yeah.
How did that happen? Like what was it about that decision that pulled you through that?
You want my banker answer?
Sure.
You cut out 45% of your overhead and maximize your volume and your margin.
45%.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
See if you don't have a couple of dollars after that.
Jeez.
Yeah. And but I couldn't it was a financial decision, but it was also a passionate one because I needed to match what we had. And I literally built what we had built. We'd take $176,000 in net annual sales in 2012. Today.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Bleep that part out.
Yeah.
Nice. We can if you want.
James, make a note.
We'll just have a beep.
And I'm literally just getting started. It's only been 5 years.
Wow. Since you started roasting.
How many? You guys have 3 locations now?
Technically. So we just announced our roastery expansion.
I saw that.
Which ended up staying in Poulsbo.
Yeah.
Is it a good setup? You happy with it?
It's an incredible setup.
Oh, awesome.
We never wanted to leave Poulsbo.
Yeah.
Never. It was, I'm a guy that's going to grow and do what I need to do to grow, and we'll figure it out.
Mm.
And when Dave approached us with the warehouse idea, it was my best option at the time because I was already looking around. I was looking around for a year.
This is Dave Lambert.
Yeah.
Dave Lambert of Slippery Pig, legend.
Legend.
Yes.
Legend of the Poulsbo community that extends far past Slippery Pig.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. Some do. Most don't.
Mm-hmm.
That Dave and Shauna, Slippery Pig.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so much more.
Yeah, when he was on, I didn't realize that he was one of the founders of like the farmers market.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Him and Shauna are definitely shepherds of the community.
That's 100% that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their reach extends, and you can see that when the pig announced that they were closing.
Yeah.
You saw it. You saw that outpour of community, and I was like, "Damn,
Yeah, dude, tears,
damn,
tears."
Yeah.
People bawling.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
It's not over. They're not going anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, they'll do something.
Yeah. Someone will convince him to start
Yeah.
making that rhubarb IPA again.
Yeah, that was a
Please,
game
Dave.
changer.
Please,
that was a
Dave.
game changer.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. You guys collaborated on some drinks.
Tons. Yeah. They Shona got me day drunk. She was like, taste this lemon verbena vodka. And I was like, what?
Okay.
It's 5 o'clock.
That's delicious. Give me another one. I was like, what is that? Because it smelled like lemons and it tasted like magic.
Oh.
And so the Cafe Cocina lemon verbena latte
Oh.
is that.
Oh, no
Thank
kidding.
you, Shauna.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you.
Shauna.
I haven't had that. I'll have to try that.
The simple syrup. She made me a test batch. And I was like,
Wow.
Can I say profane? I can be pro.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she made me a test, simple syrup, and I made a coffee with it, and I was like, this fucks.
Yeah, we're 50 minutes in.
No, nobody's listening anymore.
7 minutes in.
Maybe in the intro,
Yeah.
you can be like, Eric from Cafe Cocina, cut this in and be like, this fucks.
Yeah, right.
And so, yeah, the lemon verbena latte came from there. The dandelion latte came from there also.
Oh, right. From the
Yeah.
he had a dandelion beer.
It was just out of the box, right?
Yeah.
We'll
Much like everything you and the pig do.
out of the box.
Out of the box.
Boxes are dumb. So useful. We're surrounded by them constantly, right? But I always think, I'm like, there's got to be more than just boxes, right? Like, I mean, we are sitting in a room that is a box.
Right.
Everything on the wall is box shaped. Like,
It's true.
it's all a box. And I
It's
was like,
true.
we are so one dimensional, kind of.
Dude, it's time for a round box.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Burberry, let's go. It's like a hat box.
A hat box?
Yeah, it's a round hat box. You ever buy a cowboy hat?
It's
a round box.
Oh.
Oh, dude, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Get like a Stetson.
Yeah.
A round box.
Round box.
Okay.
Is it a box?
It's a cardboard round.
Right. Yeah. Look at a round top, please.
Yeah.
So the warehouse was that was like the idea to expand, and obviously the thing in Bremerton didn't work out for various
Fell through.
reasons.
Well, gosh, we were blowing up, right? So the daunting task of replacing Zoka as our coffee roaster. We've spent the last 7 years now building a company based on this coffee profile. I got to replace it. So how am I going to do that? That's when I went over and said, Jeff, I'm going to start roasting coffee. Can you teach me how to roast coffee?
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, dude, I will work for you for free for 2 years. Let me in the door to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
And that's when he said yes.
Okay.
Because he was like, fuck you, right? I said, I'll work for you for free for 2 years. I will come over
Wow.
every
you
week.
did that.
Yep. While doing
my
the
word.
cafe. Yeah.
Jeez.
Just to figure it out.
Wow.
Let me in the door. I will figure it out.
Oh. That's a bit further away than Tacoma.
Sure. Yeah. Nobody's going to care about.
So you were working for him as a roaster? Like in his roasting? Like for that,
basically just standing around. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don, his head roaster was a magician, and I would show up. He would mentor, and we'd talk about coffee roasting, talk about this, talk about that, talk about weights and measurements, bean density, times.
So it's a pretty steep learning curve to start roasting. Really?
It's scary.
Really?
Cause a fire.
It's not as simple as just burning beans.
God, no.
Okay.
Sure it is. There's the dude that comes home wasted and makes top ramen, and then there's Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah, there you go.
That is a spectrum. So, we're just burning beans till we're not.
Yeah.
Till we're not.
Yeah.
And
So your new Poulsbo location.
Where is it?
Yeah.
2 doors down from our current place.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah. That's a baller story.
I want to hear it.
That's a baller story. So things in Bremerton are looking
Grim.
Mm-hmm.
And my head's in my hands, and I'm like, what am I going to do? 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 Right. Because
and this is just recently.
Oh yeah.
This
is January.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm looking around at places, and the word is out. I have got people looking for me, right? Everything is $6,000 a month, $9,000 a month.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Whew."
It's amazing. Lease prices are just insane right now.
Well, then to build a roaster, you're another $200K.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So the volume and expansion that we made, that we were going for, we can do 1,000 pounds a week. I can do 4,000 pounds in a day now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the jam. That's the angle.
Sweet.
Yeah, we're saying no to Costco right now.
So here in,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Whoa.
We're saying no to large deals
wow.
because I can't pallet wrap right now.
Jeez.
Yeah. The demand is high.
Yeah. I guess so.
We're looking at really cool things, right?
Yeah.
We're saying no to wholesale clients,
Wow.
right? There's certain ones we're saying no to. There was a huge multi-restaurant deal on the north end of Seattle. We said no.
Wow.
Because the roaster that we have is too small. So we're growing, we're expanding. There's a need for this.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do it. And so,
That's amazing.
things are looking bleak. And there's kind of a rule of thumb: if you walk into the cafe and ask for me, I'm not there. Right? So my staff is like robotic in the sense of like, oh yeah, he's not in right now. Well, his truck's out there. Yeah, he's not here.
He's hiding under the table.
He's here, but not all there.
And they're certainly like professional about it,
Yeah.
So this gal comes in and she has amazing hair. Judy, love you.
I'm seeing a theme
Yeah.
of people's hair being a key piece of how you remember them.
I'm losing mine, so it's Attaboy.
My wedding was pretty much the last day I had hair. Dude, 2012. I missed those days. Man.
James has great hair.
Yeah.
The man behind the camera.
Yeah.
So sad.
She comes in and she goes, "Hey, I was hoping to talk to Eric about some office space." And Jordan, little ears behind the counter, she perks up and she's like, "Office space? What?" Somebody else is at the counter and they're like, "Yeah, he's not here right now." And Jordan was like,
He might be here.
"Office space? Do you have a meeting with him?" And she was like, "No." But Judy has a presence. So
Is it Judy or Joey?
So Joey was the friend that told Judy.
We have Joey coming on this podcast in 2 weeks.
I love Joey.
Yeah, dude, her hair is cool. Dude.
Yeah. Oh, we might be talking about a different Joey.
Joey saw
I was thinking Joey Graham.
Keller Williams. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know this Joey though.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
Continue.
There was a Joey.
You'll know Joey soon.
Not a
enough.
baby kangaroo.
Yeah.
That's- So Jordan goes, "Hang on, I'll be right back." And so she skirts out to the roasting room. She's like, "Hey, there's a Judy here to talk to you about office space." And I was like, "Office space? What?" I was like, "Hang on, have her stick around. I'll come in and say hi, see what's up." Because I'm thinking maybe somebody somewhere along the lines was like, something. So I was gonna go seek it out, see what's up. And so she's just a larger than life, character. And I come in, I was like, hey, what's up? I'm Eric, nice to meet you. And she was like, hey, I'm Judy. I own the property 2 doors down. And I was wondering, I heard that you were looking for space. And I'm building offices down here. And I was like, okay, hey, give me a minute. So I shut down the roaster, put it in cooling mode. And I was like, let's take a walk. So we walked down there and she's like, here's my offices. We're building this. We're doing that. We're doing blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And she was like, do you need an office? And I was like, no, I need a roastery. Can you knock all this down? Give me 11-foot ceilings? She goes, honey, I can do anything you want.
Oh, wow.
I said, great. She goes, when do you want to do it? I was like, yesterday.
Sweet.
She looks at her husband. She goes, Joe, can we knock all this down? Give him 11-foot ceilings? And he goes, well.
Oh, wow.
We had a
right
40,
down 2 doors down.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is downtown Poulsbo?
This is
on Finn Hill.
On Finn Hill.
Oh, right. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So 2 weeks goes by. And so we had about a 40-minute conversation, hammered out some details. We shook hands. And at the end of the conversation, I said, hey, would you ever sell this property? And she goes, right now we're looking for long-term tenants. And I said, I am your long-term tenant. Forget all this. Forget the offices. Forget everything. I'll take it all. Whoa. Knock that down. Give me 11-foot ceilings.
Wow.
And she goes,
Done.
you got it, boss. She calls me 4 hours later and says, price tag for the property.
Nice.
And I was like,
whoa.
That's a hell of a price, Jude. And she was like, it's a hell of a location, Eric. and she hit me again with, and I know you need it.
Ouch.
So I countered, and she said, cool, I'll drop the paperwork.
Wow.
Handshake deal, done. See you, bye.
Wow.
So you guys are now owners of that property?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude.
Nicely done.
It was wild, dude.
So when was that?
A month ago.
Whoa, that was fast.
Yeah.
And the roastery's in and done.
We signed papers on January 15th, so a little over a month ago.
Oh my gosh.
But it was that fast.
And you guys are in that location now?
And it's
so
you're roasting.
Yeah. Well, we're not roasting yet.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
we're getting all the infrastructure. I just put in a 5 million BTU gas line. Yeah, because the roasters that we're bringing in are huge roaster.
This is off natural gas?
Yeah.
Dude. Dang. How big's that gas line? Is it like
we're both propane
We both
salesmen.
sell propanes.
Oh, yeah.
For different companies.
Yeah. Nice.
It's natural gas. Are you sure?
Yeah. They do make them to run off of propane, but
Yes.
I would need
to change the orifices.
massive tank. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if you noticed all the construction on Finn Hill last week, that was us.
Wow.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, so they ripped up the ground and planted that. But yeah, we put in a new power service with PSE. It has been a thing, but we are moving at lightning speed to get this done.
Yeah.
Lightning speed.
Wow. So when do you think you guys will be operational?
In my mind, I already am.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for another month. It'll probably be 2.
Wow, that's quick.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
The building was down and back up in a month.
So you said you could do 4,000 pounds in a day.
Yeah.
And this is with this location.
Yeah.
You can do it
with the one that we're moving into. Yeah.
Okay. And I haven't seen the space yet. Is the idea that it's big enough that you can end up pallet wrapping eventually in the space?
Yeah.
And then you could potentially do those bigger deals.
So in addition to this deal, there was a study to be sure that we could expand for storage.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are putting an additional 2,500 square foot storage space on there also.
Ooh. You're going to be Poulsbo's biggest export.
It's not a goal.
Yeah. That's so cool.
It's
be
like
sweet if it
you guys are turning into just like a flagship for Poulsbo. I mean, like I go to Hood River a lot for work, and you know, there's some great brews down there. It's like you go to Hood River and you're looking at, is it Full Sail that's out of Hood River? Yeah. I think. You see it from a distance, and everybody that's from Hood River knows about that. And then this is like what it's going to be for Poulsbo for you guys. It's like you're going to be. It's awesome.
I try to keep my ego in check with that. I hear so much positivity from the public and stuff, and it really warms my heart. I know it makes my folks proud. You know, I know it makes my family proud.
Dude, that's awesome.
Oh, that's
And
full
so
circle right there. Well
there's
done.
Cut and end. Thanks, everybody. No.
He's the Navy SEAL of coffee roasters.
Can you do it?
Come on, Ken. He did it. He did it, Ken.
My dad tells me all the time, man. He's like, man, you had to reinvent yourself, and it was such a journey for you, and you know, I'm proud of you, and this is and that. And I was like, dude, I'm not done. Wait.
Yeah,
He's like, chill out.
I'm gonna be the SEAL Team 6 of coffee roasters.
It sounds like you're just getting started. That's awesome.
Yeah, we have 33. We have 33 farms in 22 different countries that we maintain direct trade relationships with.
Ooh, so question for that. Have you ever, do you, because I actually just met a coffee roaster in Seattle recently, and he travels and he goes and checks out where they're getting their beans from. Have you ever done that and gone and checked out your sources?
It's absolutely on our list for when I stop building.
Cool.
So what's happening right now, because of these trade relationships, our farmers actually come to us.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So it's kind of the other way. It's fun because I get to host them, but we kind of have like an open door. They're like, come and see us anytime. Mm-hmm. So like, you guys want to go to Colombia? Like,
sweet.
We have kind of like an open door. Like, whenever you're ready, come on down.
That's cool.
Same thing for Guatemala and Costa Rica, Kenya, Ethiopia, Sulawesi.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sulawesi, totally.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
right. Yeah, let's just hop, skip, and jump. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool people that we get to work with, and a lot of I haven't really been public about a lot of this because I don't think that we're at the marketing stage that I want to be at to start introducing this stuff. I want to clean some stuff up a little bit. I've been so focused on growing the manufacturing side of things and the retail side. And there's so many things that have to happen until you're relevant to have those conversations. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, so to speak.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of little guys out there, and I don't want to do them any disservice. Mm-hmm. You know, I want to play the part appropriately.
It seems like there's in our area especially, there's always room for another latte stand. There's always room for another cafe. There's always room. And it's just like, how do you guys balance that, the competition, you know, while also it seems like things are fairly harmonious in this area when it comes to the coffee world, at least on the surface level.
Sure.
As a customer.
Yeah.
But it's not. Okay.
You want to see a fight? Go on Kitsap County Dining and say, where's your favorite coffee shop? It's pointless.
Am I wrong in judging all coffee shops by the quality of their drip?
No.
That's the standard, right?
Yeah.
If your drip is good, you are a good cafe.
60% of them don't have it.
Right. Yeah. We're talking about this a couple weeks ago. I go to a stand. They're like, yeah, I can do an Americano for you. I'm like,
it's different.
Back and drive.
It's too much body.
Yeah. I'm back and drive and I'm to the next spot.
Yeah. We have 4 different drips at one time.
Dude.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And it's, it's necessary, but a lot of it, I mean, not to poo-poo anybody's operation. A lot of them don't have the room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And equipment infrastructure and all kinds of things. This is what I was talking about when I mentioned that we have the largest commodity industry with the least amount of education available for operators. Because what happened in the 90s? Oh, this is such a fun conversation. So you have Starbucks absolutely exploding. You have and they're running away with the ship, right?
Yeah.
And then you got Seattle's Best and Tully's like, wait for us, you know. And there's this emergence of coffee.
Yeah, and both of those just never did.
Yeah, because they were trying to keep up with Starbucks the whole time. Oh, what's Starbucks doing?
And Seattle's Best is like on par with Folgers now.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so you have this explosion of Italian style coffee and coffee houses. Literal explosion. 2001, 2002, 2003. What starts popping up everywhere? Coffee shacks. Because it's simple. It's easy. It's not a lot of overhead. But who owns them? Real estate agents, stockbrokers, people that do like office jobs and stuff, right? It's never owner operator, or wasn't. It was, I'm going to hire a barista and it's going to be hot bean water. But the customer has been educated so much that now we know two things. I like it or I don't like it. And they control everything based on that decision, that instinct decision.
Customer does.
Yeah. And it's unforgiving. They'll try it one time and say, nope, bad coffee, and never come back.
And then you get Ladybug.
Yeah. And it makes it all worth it. Right?
And Ladybug's like, I'm not going to make good coffee. I'm never going to make good coffee. So,
quick rabbit trail. I had the ultimate idea is instead of in the Seattle area, instead of bikini barista stands, you do a whole chain of dad bod barista stands.
Oh, that's been
where you're rolling in and like the expectation is.
But we're not talking 6-packs.
No.
Oh,
it's no.
We're talking
straight up dad bod. Straight up dad bod.
Straight up, and
Neat.
it's
I'm in.
Very neat.
You roll up, he hands you the coffee. He's like, here, babe, have a nice day. Little peck on the cheek.
You want me to not rotate the
and
laundry
she's
for
out.
you?
All 4 kids are in the back. Thanks,
dude. That's what it is. And then there's got to be there's got to be taglines of like, I didn't unload the dishwasher. Can you make me a sandwich?
Those are the names of the drinks. Brilliant.
Your sister doesn't look that awesome either. We're twins. I know. Oh man.
Anyway,
Brilliant.
No, I can do it. I can rock it. Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
It's the future.
I've got some cut off Levi's.
It's the future.
Short shorts. Yeah, we'll put it out there.
Get a lot of tips. Of tips.
No, do you guys remember the banana hammock that happened in Port Orchard? It was a dude.
like
version
banana
of
hammock.
No, it was
Tried to open one of those in the mall.
Yeah.
Right next to the kids' play area.
Yeah.
It was like the
Really
image was
well.
like a deer
Yeah.
or something like that
Yeah.
with a 6-pack. And I was like, is that the play kids area right there? And they're going to have a bunch of naked dudes serving coffee
Sick.
right over there. You got to walk to this one. It's not even a drive-through. You got to walk into the mall.
That was
You
a
have
marketing
to buy it in
campaign.
front of children.
Yeah, that was a marketing campaign.
Oh.
I remember those. No, I remember those big decal,
Yeah.
the window decals.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, those are not the dudes that live in Kitsap County. You are gonna be in for a rude awakening. This is a blue collar town.
Yeah. Right. Oof. Yeah, that could work on the other side of the water. Maybe not Kitsap.
Yeah.
Are we running up on time, James? I think we're over an hour. We got to get
8:29.
8:29.
Cool.
Well, we're hoping to have repeat guests as well.
Yeah, dude, I'm happy to come back.
Yeah.
It's cool. I love talking about the industry. I feel like I killed a lot of my time with the banking stores.
No, dude, that's
No,
awesome.
no.
It's
You know
such a
what?
beautiful story.
Every single guest we've had on, we're only scratching the surface.
Yeah.
So it's like you're our 5th guest or something like that.
Yeah.
And everybody we want to have back on because it's just like, man, there's just so much more to talk about. Like Dave's done with the pig, and we're like, we want to have you back because there's so much still to talk about.
There's that whole story, the whole thing from start to finish. I mean, is amazing, right? It's the true spirit of entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna make beer in my backyard. And
I'm going to make
people are
beer
gonna
because I
start
like to
showing
drink
up.
it. And then everyone else was like, make it for us.
Yeah. And you have people showing up at your property and drinking your beer.
Yeah.
Because it's good.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're moving downtown. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was what, 2013? 2012?
That sounds
2013?
right.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
I remember the
around the same
plywood-
time as you guys. Okay, yeah.
I remember the plywood signs
Yeah.
on Slippery Pig that have the arrow
Right.
that they're doing like an event on a Saturday.
Yeah. Bananas.
And then it turned into what it was.
Yeah.
Downtown.
Which was a gathering space for people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it didn't matter.
Any idea
No,
what's going in that spot? Have you heard anything?
Yeah. I can't say it though.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I'm contractually bound.
To move in the right direction. You're excited? Never mind.
The
Never
pig
mind.
needs
Never
the.
mind.
I love the pig.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Agreed. Agreed.
The pig was necessary. The pig was needed.
Yes.
The pig was more than the pig. The pig was Poulsbo.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a real heartbeat of the tone of the city and the people that are in it.
Mm-hmm.
So and it was cool because what was it? It was music. It was gathering. It's getting fucked up. It was experimental stuff, right? I mean, Dave had amazing, crazy recipes, right? And that was, I remember an article that was written about the pig, and I was like, oh shit, I get it. And it was so on point. It was old school Viking style recipes. We're not using the modern technologies of the American science world to brew beer.
Yeah.
We're making beer with passion and heart.
Yeah.
We're gonna try some weird shit. You know, and that's where you get cool stuff.
Dave
right?
and Shauna were having fun.
Yeah.
Dave and Shauna were having fun.
The hell else?
And that's why everybody else had fun when they went in there. Yeah.
Because it wasn't serious. You know?
It was serious.
Just wasn't serious.
It was serious fun.
Yeah, serious fun. Like did they take
And the
it
baton
seriously?
has been passed to Cocina.
Yeah. No.
No?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
All right.
But you guys are having serious fun.
We are having serious fun. Yeah, we're totally having serious fun. And you know, and Dave and Shauna are in a sense the admiration of business owner I wish I could be. Where it's loosey goosey and just like, man, we're just gonna do this and who cares? You know, I'm thinking about 100 different avenues and 100 different creases in the fold and how to do something. And they're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I love that. There's something so raw and special about that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm sitting here in a metal shirt, you know. Fuck it, right? It's Saturday.
Yeah. Saturday morning with donuts and coffee.
Yeah. Like just want to relax a little bit, you know, because we've done such good things, and the community loves it, and I'm so grateful. But at the same time, I think it's time to breathe a little bit.
Well, we'll have you back on, and we can relax together again.
Yeah. Let's bring some hookah in.
Yeah. Right.
I have asthma.
Anything else that you want people to know about? I mean, we've got the downtown location. We've got Finn Hill.
The new roastery.
You want a big one?
Yeah.
I haven't said it publicly.
Okay.
Whoa. Watch to the end
Ladies
for the
and gentlemen.
big announcement.
Yeah.
Cafe Cocina is coming to Silverdale.
Whoa. Dude.
Sweet.
Just gonna say, why are you not in Silverdale?
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Thanks.
to all of us.
Yes.
Cafe Cocina is coming to Silverdale twice.
Oh my gosh.
dude.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Congratulations, sir. Dude.
One building is built. It is across from the trails.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, really?
Highway 420. I'm sure everyone's familiar.
Yeah.
It is right where that's at. So at the foot of the new 18 unit apartment complex.
Okay, yeah. Oh, killer.
Drive through, walk in, full service.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Dude, put a stage in there. Have my band come and
Dude.
Yeah.
play a rock
full
show for the
full patio.
Yeah, dude. Let's
Yeah,
do
everything.
that.
Yeah. I'm on it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2 new Cafe
Silverdale.
Cocinas coming into Silverdale.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
That much closer. See, I live in Port Orchard, so you got to keep expanding out.
I've got fun stuff happening in Port Orchard too.
Cool.
Jeez.
All right.
With, yeah. Oh, have you been to Revive Coffee House over in Port Orchard?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're one of our folks.
Oh no! Okay.
They're using Cocina beans.
They use Nostalgia and
Okay.
Sordina Decaf. They use our white coffee.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Awesome.
Dude, this has been the most mic droppy ending to any of our episodes yet.
Sweet.
Thank you, Eric.
Eric,
Love it.
thank you so much.
Thanks so
for
much,
being on.
man.
Everybody,
Yeah.
please like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.
Bye.
Until
Adios.
next time.
Thanks, guys. See you later.